want to take you through my new goal setting spreadsheet that I created for all you lovely copywriters out there as a way to get stuck into the new year and to really make some smart goals around what you want to achieve. So let's have a look at the little template here. First of all, we can add our date and our name at the top, just so it feels nice and official. Then we want to write down our goal in 20 words or fewer. So we want to have a think about what we want to achieve this year. Try to sum it up in one statement. So for me, it might be something more personal, like I want to lose X amount of weight, or I want to run a half marathon, or you might want to do something business related, that you maybe want to write a book, or you want to increase profits by X%, but keep it quite straightforward. Then we're going to move into some details, some specificity. I can never say that word. So we want to talk about how we're going to get to that goal. So for example, let's use the marathon example. If I want to reach that goal, how am I specifically going to do it? Well, perhaps I'm going to, have 5 training sessions a week. And I'm going to do something else and something else. I'm going to try and break that down into some specific tasks that I need to do to reach my goal. Then we get into measurement, the M. How am I going to measure my success? Perhaps, again, using the marathon analogy, I'm going to say that when I can run this amount of time, then I've achieved a certain goal. When I can run this amount of distance, maybe I'm going to measure my weight, maybe I'm going to measure my heart rate. Obviously a lot easier with marathons. If we think about books, perhaps we're going to have a word count that we want to achieve each day, some dates or timelines that we want to put in there, but anything that just breaks it down so that we understand how we're going to get that goal done. And then of course here, how do we know when we've reached our goal? And obviously that's a bit easier if it's a marathon, because when you've run the marathon, you've reached your goal. But if it's more like, something more immeasurable, like I want to be Australia's top copywriter, how do you know when you're Australia's top copywriter? What is going to be your measure of success? Is it going to be getting to the top of Google? Is it going to be getting some award or standing on stage next to someone fabulous? What is your definition of success? Such an important one to put in, because often we come up with these goals and these plans, but we don't really understand what our cutoff point is. When are we going to say, I've done it? And then we can relax a little bit. Very important step. On the next page of the template, we talk about how we're going to make this goal attainable. So again, marathon example, if I want to do this, what do I need to run? Well, I might need some new trainers, some sexy Lululemon, is it Lululemon? I never know. Training gear, I might need a Fitbit, but those are my resources. Perhaps I'm going to need to set aside some time on particular days to do this thing. What learnings am I going to need to make? Is there a course I could do, or could I, watch a video on how to running technique? And what kind of people do I need in my life to make this happen? Perhaps, I need a personal trainer, or perhaps in this people area, you can talk about, explaining it to the people in your life and letting them know that it's a priority. The next point is all about relevance. How do you know this goal is really relevant? So, we've already gone through planning it, so one would hope by this point that you've already pretty established that it's something you want to do. But what impact is this goal going to have on your life? Sometimes we set ourselves goals that are honestly kind of a bit ego-driven rather than practical-driven. That's okay, but let's be honest about it. Do we want to be Australia's top copywriter because we think it's going to make us feel good inside, or is it because we hope it's going to bring more revenue in? Why are we doing this thing? What is it going to help us achieve? Why is it worth achieving? The next session is about time. So for me, this is all about putting in milestones. We've talked about setting aside time and, making sure we have resources, but this is kind of saying, okay, here are my steps towards achieving my goal. Let's do the marathon one. The first step is going to be getting all my equipment together. And I'm going to give myself a deadline of the 10th of January to do that. Then maybe I'm going to put some other smaller runs up until my big run in there so I can plan it out. I'm going to do a 5K on this date. I'm going to do a 10K on this date. This also works with things like, your book, chapters that you're going to have written. You're going to get it to the editor by this point. It works with clients. Gone to this networking event. I'm going to aim to have achieved this by this point. Just get some timeline in there that you can then use for your measurability as well. Now, of course, setting up goals is often It's often challenging because we have to answer the big questions and we have to really dig down into why this goal is something that we want to do. So before you do this project, really have a good hard think about the goals that you want to achieve. Maybe just set 1 or 2, don't come up with 15 different goals, because they will just end up being sticks to beat yourself with, and often, that they can actually be counterproductive, and you end up just feeling bad that you haven't hit your goal, and it makes you incapable of doing other things. So one big goal for 2018, it doesn't have to be huge, it doesn't have to be taking over the world. It could just be that you want to have, more time to spend with your kids. You don't want to get so stressed, or you want to make sure that you've done this particular course or picked a particular niche. Pick something manageable, achieve it, and then you can always set new goals in a couple of months from now. So I hope you enjoy the template. It's free in the Clever Copywriting School shop, and let me know what you think of it. Thanks for watching.